Every muscle in his body went rigid. Rachel's head whipped up. Mark's jaw slackened. Lydia stepped closer, brushing invisible lint from his sleeve, her voice honeyed but clear. "See? You're fine. You look fine. Better than fine." The whispers had stopped. Silence pressed in like walls. Eyes burned into him. Ethan's pulse thundered. He opened his mouth to deny, to laugh it off, to run. But then his reflection caught in the vending machine glass. Tie crooked, face pale, lips still faintly stained red despite all his scrubbing. And in that moment, Ethan realized the truth. He didn't look like Ethan Hart trying to escape a rumor. He looked like Elise, cornered and undeniable. The silence in the break room was suffocating. Rachel's eyes were wide, Mark's coffee cup halfway to his mouth, and Lydia's voice still echoed, smooth and casual. "Morning, Elise." Ethan's breath caught in his throat. He wanted to laugh it off, to spin it as a joke, but his reflection in the vending machine glass betrayed him. His collar askew, tie crooked, faint red still haunting his lips. The truth was painted on him, whether he spoke or not. Rachel broke the silence first, her voice tentative. "Elise?" Mark set down his cup with a slow grin. "So it's true." Blood roared in Ethan's ears. He shook his head, stammering. "No, it's not." But Lydia cut smoothly across him, her smile sharp as a blade. "Yes, it is. And there's nothing wrong with it." She glanced toward Rachel and Mark, her tone light but commanding. "You've seen the whispers circling all weekend. Better to hear it clearly. This isn't some scandal. It's Elise." The way she said it, final, certain, made Ethan's knees weaken. Rachel glanced between them, uncertainty softening into something else, curiosity. Mark only smirked, shaking his head, but didn't argue. By lunch, the office buzzed like a hive. Not whispers now. Conversations. He heard his name, not Ethan, but Elise, slip from cubicle to cubicle, not always mocking, not always kind, but constant. "Did you hear? Josh wasn't lying. Elise, that's what he goes by." Ethan sat at his desk, hands hovering uselessly over the keyboard, heart pounding so loud he swore it rattled the monitor. A chat notification blinked in the corner of his screen. "Claire. Claire, I heard what happened. Lydia's pushing too far. Do you want me to come?" Another ping, Tessa this time. "Tessa, careful, doll. Once the name is out, it never goes back in. But maybe that's what you need." Ethan squeezed his eyes shut, pulse thundering. The office felt like it was collapsing in on him. Everyone knew. The whispers weren't whispers anymore. Elise wasn't a rumor. She was real. And whether he chose it or not, Elise now had a life of her own, in the mouths of everyone around him. By the end of the day, Ethan's nerves were frayed raw. Every glance from a coworker felt like a spotlight, every murmur a dagger. He fled the office as soon as the clock struck 5, ignoring Josh's awkward half-smile and Rachel's lingering look. Claire's apartment was quiet when he arrived. Too quiet. He paced the floor like a caged animal, words tumbling out under his breath. "They all know. Everyone. I can't go back. I can't undo this." Then the knock came. Sharp. Confident. Ethan froze. He already knew who it was. Lydia stepped inside before Claire could even greet her, umbrella folded neatly at her side. She carried herself like she owned the room, her smile maddeningly calm. "You should thank me," she said smoothly. "By this time tomorrow, no one at that office will be whispering. They'll be talking openly. About Elise." Ethan's chest seized. "You had no right." His voice cracked, desperation spilling out. "You used me like a toy, paraded me in front of them like I don't matter." Lydia tilted her head, unshaken. "On the contrary, you matter more now than you ever did. When you were Ethan, no one looked twice. Now, you're unforgettable." Tessa chuckled from the couch, swirling her wine. She's got a point. Ordinary Ethan never got this much attention. Claire shot her a sharp look before stepping in front of Ethan, her voice firm. "He didn't ask for this, Lydia. You pushed him." But Lydia's gaze never left Ethan. Her tone softened, almost kind. "You think I'm the villain here. But you said it yourself at the cafe. You didn't correct me. You didn't correct Mrs. Doyle. And today, When I said Elise in front of everyone, you froze, but you didn't deny it. Not really. Ethan's breath hitched. His hands shook at his sides. I couldn't. Exactly, Lydia murmured, stepping closer, her eyes bright and sharp. Because it's already who you are. Claire bristled, but Ethan couldn't answer. The words were stuck in his throat, because as much as he wanted to scream at her, she wasn't entirely wrong. Lydia's smile curved, satisfied. This is only the beginning. Elise isn't going back in the mirror. And if you want to survive this, you'll need me to shape her. Otherwise, she'll be torn apart by gossip before she ever has a chance to breathe. The room fell silent. Ethan's pulse hammered. He hated her words. He hated her power. But most of all, he hated that part of him believed her. The apartment felt smaller than ever. Lydia had taken a seat at Claire's desk like it was her own office, crossing her legs neatly, eyes locked on Ethan. Claire lingered near the window, arms folded, her face tense. Tessa sat sprawled on the rug, watching with a cat-like grin. Lydia set her umbrella aside and folded her hands. If Elise is to exist beyond whispers, she needs refinement, confidence, presentation. Otherwise, Ethan's fear will drag her under before she even learns to stand. Ethan's chest tightened. I didn't ask for this. I don't want. Lydia raised a finger, silencing him. You don't want? Then explain why you haven't ripped that scarf off since yesterday. Explain why you didn't correct Mrs. Doyle, or the barista, or me. Her gaze was sharp as glass. Elise is already here. What you want doesn't matter anymore. What matters is survival. Claire bristled, voice sharp. You're treating him like a project. He's not some experiment you get to mold. But Lydia didn't flinch. She leaned forward, her eyes drilling into Ethan's. This isn't about me. This is about whether you want Elise to be a humiliation or a triumph. The words clawed at him. He wanted to scream, to deny, to insist that Elise was nothing but a mistake. But the reflection from the dark TV screen across the room betrayed him again, scarf draped softly, faint lips still red. Elise staring back, waiting. Lydia rose smoothly, walking toward him. She held out a small box she had brought with her. Lesson 1, she said calmly. Ethan's hands shook as he opened it. Inside were cosmetics, foundation, eyeliner, lipstick deeper than the one Claire had used, each carefully chosen. His throat closed. No, I can't. But Tessa laughed, rolling onto her side. You can. You already did. This is just leveling up, sweetheart. Claire stepped closer, protective, her voice firm. He doesn't have to do anything. Lydia's gaze flicked to Claire, cool and deliberate. No, but if he doesn't, Elise becomes a joke. If he does, Elise becomes undeniable. She turned back to Ethan, her voice softening, coaxing. You think the whispers will vanish if you hide? They won't. But if you walk in as Elise, polished, confident, those whispers turn into stares. Stares turn into respect. Ethan's chest heaved. His hands trembled over the box. He hated her control, her manipulation. And yet, a small, undeniable part of him wanted to know what Elise might look like when she wasn't just an accident in Claire's mirror. His voice came out a whisper. What's lesson 2? Lydia's smile sharpened, victorious. Lesson 2 comes after you stop asking that question as Ethan and start asking it as Elise. The room went silent. Claire's fists clenched. Tessa's grin widened. And Ethan realized, with a mix of fear and anticipation, that Lydia had no intention of stopping until Elise was permanent. The box sat heavy in Ethan's lap, the neat rows of cosmetics staring back at him like instruments of fate. His hands hovered above them, trembling. Claire stood tense by the window, jaw set, while Tessa lounged like a spectator at her favorite show. Lydia moved with quiet precision, pulling a chair toward the vanity. Sit. Her tone was calm, but it brooked no argument. Ethan's body obeyed before his mind could resist, legs carrying him across the room until he sank into the chair. Claire's voice cut sharp. He doesn't have to do this. Lydia didn't glance at her. She uncapped a foundation bottle, squeezing a drop onto the back of her hand. You're right. He doesn't. But Elise does. The word stung. Ethan's reflection in the mirror looked back, pale, wide-eyed, caught between two names.